Coach, first up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Coach, obviously you guys pulled it out at the end. And I just want to ask about the defense. I thought there were a lot of times where Utah had to take tough shots. It wasn't like they were getting Just maybe speak to that a little bit and how maybe that played out throughout the course of the game.
Well, they're not a good team. They're a great team because they do what they do every single night. And I thought we had a signature half. I think we held them to 40 points. We knew they were going to come out and do something different. And they went to pick and rolls, and they got going because we were getting too far up in our pick and roll coverages and leaving the backside open. But I thought our guys showed a great deal of poise after they scored 38 points in the third. And offensively, we scored 117 tonight, but I didn't think we played A level for us as far as the ball movement. And I think once we understand, even in games like this where teams know what you're doing, if we can move it around a little bit more, it can make it not easy, but less difficult on our offense. But, our guys continue to show resiliency. Chris and Book, putting the ball in their hands down the stretch was huge. And I thought 16 offensive rebounds was the key for us. DA was a monster on the boards tonight, just being able to get those tip outs and getting offensive rebounds over Gobert was huge for us.
Just a quick follow. I just wanted to follow up on that. I thought also the loose balls that you guys were getting more of the 50-50 balls and was keeping extra possessions. How did you see that going?
Yeah, Chris we had a timeout, and I went through a play, and we went through our coverages, and he screamed at DA, that he needed every 50-50 ball. But I thought it was a team deal. Our guards swarmed in the paint tonight to go get those balls. When it was on the ground, we had hands on balls and some deflections, and a lot of times we came up with it. It just shows the kind of scrap that we can play with.
Next is Cameron Cox with 12 News, and then Kellen Olson.
Hey, Coach, did that feel like a playoff game to you?
Yeah, it did. I think I saw a quote from Royce O'Neal that, they were going to play it like a playoff game. And to be straight with you guys, I approach every game that way. We've always said we want to approach every game the same way. That way we don't have to change when we get where we want to go. But the intensity, the physicality, the officiating certainly reminded me of a playoff game. And then for it to go into overtime felt just like that.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gerald Burgay.
Hey, Monty, we spoke with you pregame about their three-point shooting. It felt like a lot of their threes were off the dribble and less off of ball movement. It kind of turned back into that, though, in the third quarter.
Yeah.
What'd you make of the overall job you guys did in denying that huge part of what they do?
They averaged 17 makes. You know what I mean? They averaged 43 attempts with 17 makes. So that's a win for us. I thought the ones we gave up on the backside, when we got too high up in pick and roll coverage and let Gobert get behind us, we had to come help, and those are the ones that you hate because those are the catch shot ones. There was one where we went under on a screen on Ingles out of a timeout. That's one you don't want to give up. But other than that, to force teams to shoot off the dribble threes, contest them without fouling, is a huge win for us, especially if you think about what we did earlier in the season. That's a bit of growth for us.
To go back to rebounding, you guys were plus 16. It felt like a war for every single 61 that you got. And just the flow of the game, Utah kept coming back, and you guys just had a shot for them every time, it seemed like. You talk about resilience a lot with this team. Just what was it like for you as a coach, and how proud were you to see the energy and intensity you guys played with all night?
Well, that's what I told our guys. They may not find anybody that wants it more for them than me, because I've been in games like this, and it's gratifying when you execute your game plan somewhat, but then when guys just will each other to win. I just felt like we hung in there with each other tonight. Even when they made runs, I didn't see anybody dropping their heads. I could see their eyes focused on me, waiting for the next play and waiting for the next coverage. That's a level of growth, and it's an experience that we have to have as a team for us to grow.
Next, we'll go to Gerald Brigay from Fansided and then Brendan Clean.
Coach, you mentioned the offensive rebounding with Ayton, but it looked like he was very locked in defensively as well. And that's with the difficult challenge of having to switch out onto those guards on the perimeter and then, also deal with Gobert inside. What do you think of the job that he did on the defensive side of the ball tonight?
Well, we put him in a lot of tough positions. Not many guys his size have to do as much as he does. The only other guy may be Gobert, and he's Defensive Player of the Year. And so we put DA in coverages where he's got to rim protect, but we also switch out with him at times where he's got to guard smaller guys. And when they make shots, it's usually a tough shot. His poise to stay down and not give up threes on pump fakes was huge. I think we gave up one with Cam. DA's done a much better job of staying down on pump fakes. It's not always perfect, but his rebounding and his ability to defend and cover up for his teammates is huge for us.
We have time for 3 more. First up is going to be Chris Mannix with Sports Illustrated and then Brendan Clean.
And Monty, you mentioned you've seen the value of Chris all year long with this team, but a game like this, does it exemplify kind of the value of having a guy that's experienced that isn't going to panic in these types of situations?
Yeah, I mean, he helps our team. He helps me a ton going down the stretch because as soon as we need a play, we have eye contact, and usually we're thinking the same thing, and he goes out there and he executes. His ability to knock down shots, but also find guys, draw fouls, all the stuff he's been doing for a long, long time. I mean, you guys said it in the pregame. Everywhere he goes, he helps the team become even better than they were. But down the stretch, you might not find anybody any better than Chris Paul.
Final 2 questions are Brendan Clean with Bright Side of the Sun and Joe Pequeno.
Hey, Monty, just one of those nights for Mikal where he was unable to really get into a rhythm with the fouls. And what were you seeing from him with that? And then what made you decide to just stick with Cam for that last whole stretch?
Well, I thought about bringing him back in overtime, and got overruled by the staff. And so I didn't want to be a dictator in that moment. We just felt like Cam was part of that 50-50 ball deal. And I thought his hands on balls and he was staying in front of the ball defensively was huge for us. And then he knocked down a huge 3 on the left wing. Mikal got into foul trouble, and sometimes that throws your rhythm off. We wanted to keep him on Donovan Mitchell, which is a tough cover. But he got into foul trouble, and I thought Cam did a great job stepping up tonight.
Final question is Joe Pequeno with Fanatic Sports Radio.
Coach, congratulations on the win. With the role you're on right now and this victory tonight, is there a growing sense on this team that you guys can be the top seed and win the West?
We just don't focus on any of that stuff. I hear it, and I hope we do, but our goal has always been to win every game, improve every month. I've said that since I've been here. This team has to go through these types of experiences to win big. Being number 1 in the West would be a huge accomplishment for us, but it's just not our focus. We just want to win every game we can. And if that means we're number 1 in the West, then great.
All right, Cam, we're going to start with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Hey, Cam, what was it like being out there in a game like this down the stretch where you stayed in the game and it was making plays, 50-50 balls, hitting threes? What was that like for you tonight to be involved so much in a game that it turned out like it did?
It was good. It's always fun to be a part of a win. The guys play their heart out, and that stuff's contagious. Just try to do my part. And it was a tough atmosphere. It was just a tough game, physical game. And I love the crowd. It's nice to have more people in the building. It's just fun overall.
Just to follow, Coach really credit you for the 50-50 balls and getting in there, digging in defensively. You're known for the offense, but how much were you focused on that, on making those kind of plays for you guys tonight?
Yeah, it was a big emphasis tonight. Just going in there and getting in the way sometimes, stopping people, rebounding the ball, just trying to come up with the ball. And that's what we needed tonight. That's what we needed from a lot of guys, and a lot of guys did it. I know Jay had, I think, 12 rebounds, and I know Tori had a bunch, Mikal had a bunch, and that's what we need to do.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Kellen Olson.
Hey, Cam. So at the end of regulation, when Donovan hits the huge shot, you guys miss on the other end. Like, that could be deflating for some teams going into overtime. But just, can you take us inside the huddle, the talk amongst the team, talk with coaches that kind of just got you guys revved up to come out in overtime and take control?
There's no deflation. We all live for games like this, and that's just part of the game. All of us been playing this game so long that we've seen crazier things, and it's just. There was no deflation at all. Guys are ready to go in overtime, ready to get back after them. And I think we carried that over into the beginning. Scored right off the tip.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Melissa Rowland.
Hey, Cam, you hit that big three on the left wing in OT, and that was a set play for you, and it was actually Book setting the screen for you to get you free. What's it like for you in the role you have on this team to be trusted to have those moments and have a play run for you in that situation?
That was not really a set play.
Okay.
That was that was just a smart play by Book and a good feed. I think it might have been Jay.
Yeah.
The smart play by those guys. Book had been playing tight all game, and it was something that we saw early, was that when they're up on him, he can easily set those flares. So that was just a read on his part, and he's a good screener. He says it all the time. He thinks he's the best screener there is, and he set a good one for me there. Jay put the pass on target, and I had the easy job of just putting it in.
Next, we'll go to Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, and then Cody Cunningham.
In a game like this, what does Chris Paul's leadership look like behind the scenes? Like, what is he like in those timeouts and in those huddles with the game on the line?
He's a conductor. He keeps a flow of communication going, and obviously he's been in these situations hundreds and hundreds of times. So he's able to just relay like important things of possessions and then kind of, just get us on the same page. I mean, I know it sounds kind of cliche, but he's always talking about just high level of communication and even when the crowd gets loud and keeping that. And so he's just honest. And that's great. That's great. That's the benefit of playing with a guy like that. But there's great value in all of that for sure.
Final two questions are Cody Cunningham with Suns.com and Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Cam, going to a back-to-back tomorrow against another really tough Western Conference team, just what's it going to take to carry over the momentum and, the energy from this game into tomorrow?
It's what Coach calls emotional stamina and being able to get ready for the next one, getting rested, getting hydrated, getting food in us and going out there and competing again. And this is what we love to do. So tomorrow is a great opportunity for us, and we're going to look to go out there and compete.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin.
Cody took my question, so I'll go another route, strictly off topic. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on Roy retiring, and then Hubert Davis getting the job at Carolina.
I was honored to play for Coach Williams. He incredible coach. I mean, you just look at his track record, unbelievable. So just to have the opportunity to play for him, to have a little brother who played 1 year under him, was absolutely unbelievable for me. And I'm thankful for him. And I obviously wish him the best in retirement. But I'm glad. I'm really happy with Coach Davis. Coach Davis is one of the best guys you'll ever meet. And I think he'll do a great job with the program. And I think it's in good hands. So I'm happy, looking forward to getting back down there, seeing Coach Williams, seeing Coach Davis, and seeing where they take this.
All right, Deandre, first up is going to be Gina Mizell and then Mark McLuhan.
Hey, DA, again, I was thinking about 2 years ago when you went up against Rudy and just the progress that you've made in that time, the progress this team has made in this time. Just what was it like, battling with him and just kind of being in this environment against this team tonight?
You got to understand, it's a whole different team.
Yeah, sure.
A whole different player. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different approach. We treated this game like a playoff game. We did everything we wanted to do. We made them feel uncomfortable, and we stuck to our game plan. No matter how the game went, we stuck together, and we kept positivity and energy in the air. And, that's what teams struggle with our energy. And, we don't really get down too much when adversity hits. That's when we really play our best, and that's when you really see the togetherness on the floor. And it was a great game. The fans did a great job. I ain't heard that arena like that since I got drafted. It was packed, even though it didn't look packed. It sounded like a full house, and I just really appreciate tonight.
Final two questions are Mark McClune with Arizona Family and Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, DA, just about the fans and, going through quarantine and, wanting to play in a game like that. Were you able to appreciate the moment and how well you were playing while you were out there?
I loved it. Just seeing everybody, seeing the jerseys, just seeing the opponents, fans out there as well. Just, that's what the NBA is about. We're entertaining. This is where amazing happens. And, you can feel the energy, on the court, and you just want to play hard for them. You know what I'm saying? You just want more chance, and you just want to do the right thing, that, help us on the scoreboard. And, you felt that energy, and it helped a lot, even though they hit big shots. Donovan hit a big three. The fans still was in it with us, and you could hear them holding our back, even though the chants and stuff while we were shooting free throws, they were super excited, screaming MVP. And I missed all of it, to be honest. I missed all of it.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin.
Yeah, DeAndre, just two things real quick. First, wanted to ask you about competing with Gobert for rebounds, and I thought that you was really hungry, particularly on the offensive glass. And what was that like tonight, that back and forth? And then two, watching Chris and Devin do what they do at the end, what was that like for you?
Everybody got a job on this team, man. And, teams got to pick their poison. And, with us, we're all hard on each other in the right way and to do what we do best. And, Book and CP coming off of screens, doing what they do best, opens it up for me on getting easy offensive boards. They hit a couple middies right there. Somebody's going to have to step up, and it's just me in the rim. Me setting good screens, rolling, creating offense, it's just all around. Competing with Gobert, that's the defensive player of our league, and him being a presence on both ends of the floor, you're gonna have to bring your A game. As a strong, physical dude, he knows the game, and I learned a lot too. And really strong dude, and just playing against him, matching his energy, and you just gotta be ready to play, man. You just gotta really study, watch film, and see these type of dudes' tendencies to really be locked in a game like this down the stretch, especially.
All right, Book. First up is going to be Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Naveen Ganglani.
Hey, Book. Been waiting a long time for games like that, environments like that. DeAndre said that's the loudest he's heard the arena since he got drafted, and there were only 5,000 people in here. Just your thoughts on how the game went and just the flow of playing a game like that.
Yeah, it was real intense. I think it was both teams played very hard, defended very well. It was just a battle throughout. So, it was really fun to be a part of it. Probably the closest to a playoff type atmosphere that I think that we faced this year. But it was fun.
Mikal exits with 4 fouls in the second half. You take on the primary assignment of Donovan. Can you just tell us about just accepting that responsibility and just doing your part defensively as well?
Yeah, just trying to make it tough. Every possession counts. So you got it going at some parts of the game, and just trying to want to make it hard on him. If he makes tough shots, then he makes tough shots, but try to limit the easy ones.
Next is Naveen Ganglani from the Philippines, and then Tim McMahon.
Hey, Devin, congratulations on the win. I just wanted to ask, do you remember the first conversation you had with CP3 when he was traded to Phoenix and you knew you were going to be teammates with him? And just having him around, how has that improved you in terms of your decision-making in the basketball court?
My first ever conversation with him was during pre-draft. We were training out in Thousand Oaks, California, me, Carl Towns, and D'Angelo Russell. And Chris came through before we were even drafted and trained with us. And then later invited us to our house. To his house, showed us around, gave us the same, kind of advice and older brother advice that he does now. 6 years later and we're on the same team. But ever since, we traded for him, we've just been talking about competing and just trying to play at the highest level. And, just being around him every day, learning from him, learning through conversations, learning through stories that he's told. He's accomplished, a big list of things in this league, that all of us on this team, us young players, are trying to reach. So, he's definitely, a big bonus to have around here.
Final two questions are Tim McMahon with ESPN and Dwayne Rankin.
What does this game do for your team in terms of kind of the growth, maturity, for a group that hasn't been in the playoffs? And do you feel like you guys at this point have, not necessarily that it matters, but have earned the right to be included prominently in discussion about contenders in the Western Conference?
I think it's good for us to, experience those type games instead of getting caught off guard once postseason starts. So, you can't really emulate, a game like that in a practice or, a regular game, two teams that want it that bad. So, the pace was higher, the physicality was higher, and I think it was a good learning lesson for us. So it was a hard-fought game.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is you guys got the Clippers tomorrow, and another one right after this. Is just maybe shifting the mind to that, and how much you guys are looking forward to that another challenge against one of the top teams in the West.
Let's get it. That's it. Let's just get it.
All right, Chris, we're going to start with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic and then Gina Mizell.
Chris, you've talked about learning from those experiences and close games and being able to play better down the stretch. How would you – that's how you guys did that tonight, coming out with the win, of course, but just those end-of-game moments and OT, just your thoughts on how you guys played in those stretches.
I think we did a good job of just weathering the storm. We was in the locker room talking about it. We needed a game like that where guys had to play heavy minutes. The intensity of it, the crowd was great, and just that energy. We haven't played too many games like that, so it's good to get a few games like that under our belt going into this stretch run before the playoffs.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com and then Tim McMahon.
Hey, Chris, just what were the keys defensively in that first half when you guys were really able to shut them down?
I think I said this earlier in the season. Our coaching staff is amazing. One thing we always say that we'll never go into a game not prepared, right? So I loved our game plan. We executed it. That's a good team, so they're still going to score at times and stuff, but I think we did a really good job.
Next is Tim McMahon with ESPN and then Kellen Olson.
Chris, how good do you think this team is now, and where are the areas you see that you feel like you guys need to grow before the playoffs start?
We got a lot of places that we can grow. We got to cut down our turnovers. We got to get more efficient, be better down the stretch. So we're going to be all right.
Final two questions are Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports and Naveen Ganglani.
Chris, it felt like a war for every rebound. You guys were plus 16 on the glass. Deandre played a big part in that. How'd you like the team matching that intensity you were talking about with the level of play in the crowd?
Yeah, we got a real team. The shots down the stretch. Jay hit a few big shots. Cam hit a few big shots. DA was huge. He got us a lot of extra possessions. So I think with these games right here, we really get a chance to show, our depth.
Final question goes to Naveen Ganglani from the Philippines.
Hey, Chris, congratulations on the win. Just from the time you've been in Phoenix, from the time you started working with Booker in training camp up to where you guys are now, what from his game have you seen improve the most, or what has it gotten better at that might not be recognized as much?
I don't know. It's just really nothing that Book can't do. He can go right, he can go left, he can create for others, he defends, he's a two-way player. I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect when I came, but I knew the mentality of Book, right? And so, don't know, man. This is fun. I'm excited about, you know, the things to come.